Hello. I'm so excited you are here. It means you want to do my fun little exercise, little warm up to get you writing poetry today. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to start sketching a poem focused on an emotion. Okay, so often new poets, they feel like if they just keep repeating the abstract noun emotion, then that will make the poem feel more emotional and the reader will be more connected to it. No, okay? As poets, we are visionaries. We need to show, okay? So, whenever you pick an emotion, your objective is to show it, okay? Now, I encourage you to watch my video talking about what we can learn, what all writers can learn from studying the story A Christmas Carol. Okay, Charles Dickens was an expert in showing mood and emotion through visual details and imagery and behaviors of people and even the dialogue. Okay, so what we're going to do in this little fun little sketch, okay, because I don't want to say you're writing a poem, because I understand you're not writing a poem in the sketching stage. You're literally just taking notes. Remember in my personal writing rules video on here, I say I don't call my first drafts. I don't call them that. I call them note taking. Okay? This relieves me of any pressure to write great on the first write and not make myself think that I'm actually writing a poem when I haven't even moved to the revision stage yet. Okay? I personally do not feel the real writing begins until the mastering process starts to happen. The mastering stage is on the table. I'm mastering, but you're not mastering right now. You're having fun. Let's say that you're playing with a particular crayon, okay? You're going to play with the crayon of anger, okay? And that's what you're going to get to know. That's what you're going to teach your reader about in this fun exercise. We're going to use the emotion anger. And you're going to reveal, okay, an experience or an event or something that you witnessed or something that you do that reveals anger, okay? All right. But before I ever get started writing, I always meditate and I time travel in my mind to times when I've experienced that particular emotion. I allow myself to connect to it as if it's just happening. I'm just feeling the emotion. It's not in the past. Okay? This way, I'm emotionally charged and my pen is charged and I'm ready to go. Okay? So, what I want you to do is I want you to recall seeing with having saw someone do something when they were angry, something that connects them to the angry emotion. Okay, I understand that often what we experience also has a effect. Okay, so how we respond to that, okay, can be a poem. Okay, so anger. What have you done to deal with your anger? What have someone done when they were angry? Okay, so I have been really into thinking about my experiences with my mother. My mother passed this year, so she's been a big part of my conversations and my memories and my time when I'm meditating. I'm thinking about her, and there was a moment that came to me in which I thought about how my mom dealt with anger. Okay, and one moment that was so obvious that I never thought about until now. Because most times, I do want to know, most times we often don't think about people and what they're doing until we've stepped away. We don't have a big understanding, clarity of why they did what they did and what they actually did until distance have been put between us and them. So I feel like I'm having more clarity about my mother. So is there someone in your life who you've seen react and do something that always have to do with them feeling anger inside of them? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to make this little list. Like I said, we're just note taking. We're not writing a poem. Do not let your writer's ego get in the way where you say, I have to prove that I'm this great writer on the first write. No, we're simply taking notes. Okay, so when I think about my mom, and I think about when she would be very angry and she didn't want us to actually see she was angry, she would smoke, okay? And the smoking would just go on. So now you can do this on audio. You can just talk freely and record yourself, or you can do it this way. So it doesn't take a lot to write a poem. So understand your list doesn't have to be super long, okay? It needs to have a few things on the list, okay? Because there's a lesson that I teach in my book Sparks that's going to help you learn how to grow the poem after the stage, okay? As well as it's going to teach you in my book Sparks how to do this part of the stage even better, okay? That book will be out soon on Kindle, okay? Amazon Kindle. So let's get started. Anger. I wrote the word anger big because it's a big thing, right? It really, it's like boom, right? I wrote it big. I let my emotions do what it wants with the word. I might just keep scribbling under it. Let it just brew in you, okay? Who are you when you're writing this? Who are you that was angry and they reacted a certain way? However they reacted, whatever they did to deal with the anger, that is what you're going to write on this list. So when I think about my mom, I think about smoking, okay? Okay. And I noticed that it would be, okay, she would take her time with the smoking. Okay, with the smoking. Okay. Love every smoke. So I trust the very first lines that come to me. Okay. She would extend it. Okay. She would extend the smoking. Okay. She didn't care how much it was in our face. Okay. She didn't care if the smoking, okay, got in our eyes and made us say, this, all that smoking hurts. Okay? Okay, it burns. These are just little notes I'm taking. Little notes, okay? So I'll just keep on going, okay? Keep on going. Notice I'm writing on index cards because that forces me to not have to feel like I got to write so big and so poetic on the first write. It just forces me to keep the lines very brief, okay? Now, of course, if you want to take the very detailed write, that's fine. But if you want to take the write where you're adding literary devices later on, you can do it this way and not be tempted to keep all these adjectives because you got so detailed, okay? So then I just keep on going. Maybe I'll invite someone else into the experience. So I'll make a list. Who was all there? My father was there. We was there. The cat was there. Okay. So I would add, how does this anger affect them? How did everybody respond to this anger? Okay? What my mother did to deal with her anger, how she smoked. Okay? All right, so perhaps I can say something Father said to us. Okay? Perhaps if the smoking is bothering you so much, get away from it. Okay? Maybe he said that. If the smoking bothers you so much, get away from it. Okay. That line kind of like hit me that, that like it's actually saying that my father didn't care that the smoking bothered us. My mother had a right to smoke. And somehow in some unspoken way, he justified her smoking. Perhaps he knew she was dealing with some deep-seated anger and that smoking was the only way that would calm her down. Okay? Help her deal with it without deal with it out loud and taking it out on anyone. Okay? So I would just continue on with this list. Okay? Writing about maybe how the cat reacted to it. Okay? Perhaps how we reacted. Maybe there was something about some time that moved along when the smoking was almost done. What happened then? Okay. All right. And I could write notes then. Maybe something my father said at that point. Okay. Maybe there was something my father noticed about her pack of smokes that made him want to say something. Okay. Notice I'm doing all this investigation. I'm interrogating this whole subject. I'm literally drilling it for information like I'm a cop and this is the suspect. The angered moment. The moment of my mom smoking to get through her anger. I'm like a police officer, an investigator saying, I need to know every detail. I need to know everything from the start of it to the end of it. Okay? This is exactly how you do it. You do your sketching, okay? Now, how you put it together is up to you. How you arrange the lines is up to you. What literary devices you add is up to you. What words you take out and put back in or replace with another word is up to you. But this is how you get something on the page, okay? You can't edit a blank page. We've heard that a million times online, but I forget who said that, but you can't edit a blank page. So just get something down, okay? Now, if it helps, you can actually do it and, make sure that your starting word is anger, okay? Like this. And then you just pretty much go 1, 2, 3 with your lines right under the anger. Now, if it helps, take a pen or a highlighter or something that's like, maybe red, to give the feeling of bloodshed and heat and fire, and highlight the anger. Okay, that's going to trigger, sensory senses in your mind and make you more connected with the feeling. Okay, if you got to recall other feelings, other experiences that remind you of being angry, so you can get into that tone and mood, then you do that as well. Okay, but remember, whatever emotion that you want the reader to feel, you have to show. Okay? All right. And another thing, you need to ask yourself, where are you in this poem? In this list, where is this all occurring? Okay? Where is it all occurring? What is the year? What might have gone on in the world at the time? Okay? What's going on in your family at the time? Okay? You don't need a long list of each thing. You just need a little bit. Okay? I always treat my poetry like a soup. Okay? Depending on how much you put in of a certain ingredient is how the reader is going to taste it and feel about it. How the reader is going to talk about it. How the reader is going to think about it. Okay? So Deciding during the revision stage is very critical. What you decide to do with these lines, very critical. But you're not worried about that. You're worried about just getting something down. Okay, notes. So get you some index cards, okay? And you can just keep on going down the index cards, till you get like 3. And you're like, okay, all right. I have some, about the smoking. I have some about maybe what somebody said. I have something about the reactions of people in the room. I have something about what was going on in the world at the time. I have something about maybe an object was affected by it. I have something that probably something that may be going on in the family. Okay, that maybe this is maybe affected by it. Okay, maybe there was something that was supposed to be done soon that this angry smoking affected. All you're doing is you're being an investigator. That's what the first stages are, okay? But I want you to understand that emotion, okay, has to be shown in poetry. Shown, okay? Now, in my book, Sparks, I go into this deeper. I mean, I use examples from my own work. I show you, I talk about different emotions. I have, it's very brief, but it's very clear. Okay. So in my book Sparks is brief. The lessons are brief, but they're very clear because I don't want to waste your time. Okay. So make sure you look for that book. Okay. And, look for my other book that's coming up in, by spring of 2020, that's going to really get deeper into learning how to really get your sketching on and how to master what you've sketched, how to turn it into a great poem. Okay, that's in the next book. But Sparks is going to really show you how to get the early stages done like this and workshopping, and it has even a worksheet in the book. Okay, I wrote the book in mind, keep it in mind that I wanted to write the book that I wish I had read when I first started writing poetry. I said, when I was a new poet, what is the book I wish I read on writing poetry? And that is how I wrote Sparks. Okay. I said, what did I think that I needed to hear more? I should have heard more about. I should have learned. I should have had a more in-depth lesson about what I didn't learn from the schools that I should have learned. All that's in the book Sparks, okay? I even said, what are some secrets I should have known as a new poet that I know now that I feel like new poets need to know? I put that in my book Sparks. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you can find out when that book is coming out, when it's available. It should be available by New Year's 2020. Thank you for watching. And just a note, whatever I wrote in this video is mine. You're not allowed to use that. I actually have a little bit of more notes on this particular poem that I'm working on. And I just pretty much just sketched even further on it, but did it live on video so you can kind of see how I sketch, okay? I don't always use the index cards. Sometimes I use an app in my phone, but for me, writing in a smaller journal, index cards and all, it forces me not to write any first lines that are embellished. Okay, to realize that a lot of the adding and subtracting happens during the master writing stage when I'm actually turning these lines into a poem. Okay, so this is a great way to not be intimidated when you first put your pen on the page. Okay, thank you for watching and have a blessed day.